Good morning, Diane Herrera with Cafecito again, with Yvonne here. Today we have a guest. His name is Steven Herrera. No, we are not related, but I did graduate from high school with his mama and his daddy. So I've known him since he was a child, and I know his 3 children, when they were babies too. Once again, I'd like to thank Westside Education Training Center. We are called WETC, W-E-T-C, and I'm going to give you a little list of what they have here. They have ESL, English as a Second Language. They have a GED program, career training, academic core classes that you take through Northwest Vista with SAC. They have a testing center. As a matter of fact, at this moment, I'm looking at a computer lab filled with filled with young adults, who are doing some work. There's a computer lab, a financial literacy program. Veterans, please veterans, come in so that you can learn all the programs that they have here to offer. The office is right here, right behind me. And of course, business resources. And thank you, Mr. Steven Herrera. Yvonne?
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, of course, it's going to be my pleasure to interview you. I have known for quite a few years what Steven does, and it just hit me, and I said, now why haven't we interviewed him? So I'm going to get started with, he went to Edgewood High School, graduated from Edgewood, went to Emma Fry.
Went to Emma Fry.
Went to Escobar.
Went to Escobar.
Yeah, and the 3 schools are closed. Anyway, but Edgewood is still alive and living as a different kind of university. And I know I'm going to need help. He deals with prosthetics and orthotics.
Prosthetics and orthotics, that's correct.
Tell me, I know, many people know what a prosthetic is. Tell us the difference between prosthetics and orthotics.
So orthotics has to do with any supporting of your body. It could be maybe if you injure your knee, injure your hip, break your foot, have a herniated discs, injure your neck, break your arm. It can include any disease, cerebral palsy, spina bifida, polio, stroke, diabetes. I mean, we're talking a wide gamut of diseases, diagnosis that we can work with. So the goal is to be able to support them and help the body be supported just the way it was before the injury or the traumatic event or disease, and in hopes of them healing. Prosthetics is a totally different scenario, but they both co-mingle. So they're related yet unrelated. So the objective of orthotics is to prevent amputation, and prosthetics is the replacement of the actual limb. So if you lose a leg, then that's what we're talking about. If you lose your upper extremity, same thing.
Question, I have a bunch of them for you today. Arms, legs, prosthetics. Do you do ears?
No.
Okay.
We do
Those
not
are
do.
that's totally different.
They're totally different.
Okay.
No eyes, no ears, no nose.
Okay. So it's limbs.
Correct.
Okay. Got it. You had to go out to school for this, so tell me about your school beyond Edgewood High School.
Well, after Edgewood, I attended San Antonio College, transferred there, and I got a opportunity to run track and field, cross country for A&M Kingsville. Went to UTSA for a little bit, but neither had my actual degree plan.
The program.
So the universities here in Texas just simply did not provide what I needed. So there was a few universities that were available. The main one that everybody knows about is in Chicago. Came out in a famous movie with I don't know.
That's great.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It was a movie.
But it was a movie. Yeah. But then from there, graduated from a university called Century College, and they were affiliated with the prosthetic and orthotic department. So
and where was that? Where's that?
That's in White Bear Lake, Minneapolis.
In Minneapolis, that was me home.
Yes, Minnesota. So once I did that, then I could come back and start working. But prior to me leaving, I was already in the field. So I was working for the University of Texas Health Science Center while I was a kid, working, going to school, and kind of, I was just so fascinated with the human body and the way it works, the anatomy and the physiology. So I just continued with that, and being an athlete, that was what I gravitated towards.
Yeah. Now, you've told us what you moved into. Other jobs that you may have had during those periods of times?
Never had anything else.
Really, Leon?
No, this was my calling, and I resonate with it, and it's just something that I really, really loved. So helping, and I'm an empath, so I help people to be able to resolve their problems.
Let me throw something at you, because a friend of ours, friend of your mama's, friend of mine, Edgewood Red Raider also, was telling me just, oh my goodness, 5 days ago, that she had had a hip replacement and that she was completely off and she was in pain all the time. Tell us what you did for her.
So for hers, it was something relatively simple. It was just an elevation that we slid inside her shoe. She had had a hip replacement 4 years prior to visiting with me, and she had about an inch of a difference. That's a massive discrepancy. So we applied a heel elevation and resolved her issue.
She told me it's just totally different. She says, all I do is take it out, put it in the other shoes. Take it out, put it in the other shoes. She says, Diana, what a difference.
Yeah.
So you have really, really got a good person speaking on your behalf.
Thank you.
Being that we are right here at Wetsy, once again, we are right here between 40th and 41st, Old Highway 90, right in front of, right here to the side of this brand new building, we had the Derby, high school, the Derby. Everybody came to the Derby and went to Davila's to purchase an entire fried chicken. Tell me about your children, because I know you have children already attending an ACCD school.
Correct.
Tell me about
So my two oldest are actually attending Northwest Vista Community College, and they'll be transferring. I don't know whether they'll be going to UTSA or we don't know that to that extent. But my youngest is about to graduate from Clark.
Oh my God.
So as a matter of fact, I think next month. So she'll be attending Northwest Vista as well.
You've gotten old, Steven.
Time flies.
Time flies.
Time flies, yes.
So they're both, the two elders are right now at
Yes.
Northwest Vista.
And they're about to
appreciate,
graduate.
and I appreciate you saying that about our ACCD. Do you have anything that you could show us?
I do. I definitely have actually quite a
good.
few different
good.
demos.
Please show us.
Um,
Steven has been kind enough to bring us some of the items that he has either worked on, has collected, and we're going to go one by one, Steven, and just tell our audience what they are.
So in the olden days, prosthetics would typically be the color of your pigmentation. So if you were, and there was only three. There was Caucasian, there was Latino, and there was Negroid.
Wow.
Those were the only colors. Pick one and that was it.
Wow.
But I've always liked to customize stuff, and so being that I specialize in pediatrics, kids could be really cruel when you're having issues with any brace. So if you can decorate the actual brace for a child, such as something like this, you look cool as opposed to being the kid with the disability. So there are so many different types of colors and patterns that we could put on the actual braces that would make them slightly more enticing for the child. This is an example of a scoliosis brace. Once again, also has a different pattern to kind of show what a child would wear.
And this is for a child.
This is for a child.
And this goes around their back?
This is on their back,
okay,
yeah.
Okay.
So there are versions that we can utilize for adults. So I just brought these just because they're easier to show as a demo. But full size, human body, adult size.
Large, of course.
We're in Texas. So I think the largest I've ever fit was a 7 foot, maybe 450 pound.
Oh my God.
Paul Bunyan, I guess you can call him, because he was Paul Bunyan without the blue ox. But so very large gentleman. So that just shows you. Now this is an example of a KAFO, an acronym for a knee, ankle, foot orthosis. So this is in the old days kind of what people would wear for polio, but there's so many different conditions as to why you would use something like this. But most people will remember from Forrest Gump, right? Because he had his metal brace. This is the invention of plastics. Thermoplastics have changed our entire field. So that's a really good example of a KAFO. But there are other versions of these. But that's orthotics. When we talk about prosthetics, I took the same concept of either decorating that little brace for a child into an actual prosthesis, and in essence kind of changed that. I was one of the first ones to start that. Now it's full blown. Everybody does it in San Antonio. across the nation, across the world. So if you want to put something like your alma mater on there, or if you just like something that would look pleasing to you, it can be added to the actual prosthesis,
Okay, yeah, okay.
and it can be shown as depending on how the person wants to put under. If it's your alma mater you want to put on there, or your favorite team, we can put it on there, and it becomes a permanent part of the actual prosthesis. So here's another example. A gentleman, this is a demo of a gentleman who came in. He was Dominican, and he is telling me this is my past. So I'm Dominican, and now an American citizen. So I want to have it incorporated as to who I was and who I am now. So this is a good example of how you can incorporate it into a prosthesis as well. And then this is an example of a myoelectric hand. So this is obviously for upper extremity, and you can kind of see the integral parts of it. But this works off of your electrical impulses of your actual arm. Whenever the muscles fire, it opens.
Tell us this what to do. Tell us this what to do, yeah.
Correct. So this is high tech, and this is actually at this point outdated. So nowadays you have
better. Oh my
yes,
God.
now you have actual hands that articulate at the joint, open and close, and there's so many different ways that I mean, this can actually be fixed by the patient at home sometimes. Things have changed.
For being outdated, it looks real.
It looks what?
Oh yeah, yes, definitely. So and the same thing goes with lower limb prosthetics nowadays. A good example would be like comparing your old school telephone or your old cell phone to the smartphone. There's no comparison. Prosthetics is the same. So you have microprocessors inside the actual prosthetics that actually learn you while you're learning to actually walk on them, as opposed to you learning the entire prosthesis yourself. So it's come a very, very long way. And you can actually run reports. If a patient tells you, I'm very, very active, I was an athlete when I was in my 20s, I'm 65 or 55 or 45, we can run reports and say, you're not meeting that criteria. You need to actually maybe work on your physical therapy, you're walking this many steps, you're mainly on even terrain. So it can measure. Those are variables that now we can run reports and determine how we can improve the patient's outcome.
And that's based on the implant in the prosthetic.
In the prosthesis, yep, depending on the type of componentry that we're utilizing. Correct.
Very interesting, very interesting. Stephen, tell us where you're located.
We're located off of a Babcock, if you kind of know San Antonio, right in the middle of Babcock, Medical, and Wurzbach. It's like a little triangle. We're located right in the middle, maybe a block and a half away from the VA. So not far at all, very common in the San Antonio Medical Center.
Will you give us a phone number that people can find you, where people can find you?
That would be 210-481-4473. Our email is, we've got various emails, but if you want to email me personally, that would be stevenonp@gmail.com. We do have a brochure here we can share with you. We do have a other email here as well. That would be H5ONP2020. That's when we kind of started this. Actually started in 2019, but that was what we put at the time, and that's at gmail.com. So this kind of shows you some of the testimonies, some of my patients, and some of the type of prosthetics and some of the hours that we open. We don't open holidays, but we try to accommodate patients anytime. We're typically open from 9 to 5, but we can easily work around your schedule if need be.
So I have a question.
Certainly.
Have you encountered what used to be called Bionic Man? Is there such a thing where you would replace limbs, like say the arms, the legs, all at the same time? Not necessarily like, to replace one, but the whole thing done.
I'm actually working, I've had the privilege of working with a lady right now that she went septic, her body went septic.
Oh my goodness, I know exactly what that means.
And so she lost both arms below the elbow, and she lost both legs below the knee. So that is what we consider a quadrilateral amputee. So the first goal is obviously to treat the lower extremity so that she can ambulate and walk. This is a mother with young children. So the goal is to improve her stability, improve or increase her independence, and so and improve her confidence. So I kind of incorporate those all together. We can't be confident if you're not stable, and so I have a set protocol, and I try to have my patients follow that protocol, and that's what gives me the best outcomes. I also try to educate the individual, teach the individual what's going to happen, why it's going to happen, how I can better their outcome, and I try to make them experts. So by the time it's all said and done, they're an expert.
Yeah.
They know.
They have the answers.
They have the correct answer on why it's going to happen, and I try to incorporate family members so that they can help with that as well.
So this is not just physical as far
know.
as your prosthetics, it's also psychological and
Correct.
I mean, you work with the mind and you work with the body.
Correct. So when an individual is in a dark place, sometimes some people haven't walked for 4 to 5 years. Either they don't have any funding, or they just don't know who to communicate with, or where they need to find this information. Your physician is the first point of reference, but from there, going to a prosthetist, orthotist who knows how they can help you is vital. It truly is, and then educating them, teaching them is just as important. Because if I fit somebody with a prosthesis and they don't ever use it, then I almost feel like I failed.
Yeah. You were talking about when a person feels that they are not using it, and you feel like you failed, so you have to psychologically, mentally talk to them.
Yes, correct.
Educate them.
Explain.
Explain.
So in essence, it's teaching you how to walk again. We're talking basics. Something we learned as a child.
Yeah.
Whether you've suffered a stroke and you're struggling, you're tripping and you're falling, and everybody thinks you're just silly because you're falling. It's not that. It's just that you need help. You need help, and there's help. It's just a matter of determining how and what you need to be able to assist your body so that you don't fall anymore, so that you're not hurting anymore. So we can prevent an amputation before the amputation. And if it's too far, then we talk about the replacement of your limb.
So is it easier to work with a child or to work with an adult?
It is very complex to work with a child, because if you don't have the demeanor to work with a child, you shouldn't even work with them. Not only are you treating the child, but you're also treating the mother.
Yeah.
So there's nothing like a frustrated, angry mother who feels like either you abruptly grab the son or the child or the daughter, and I mean you've got to be kind. And I always relate this kind of to a puppy. A puppy is going to know if you've got the demeanor, and they're going to come towards you.
Yes.
And the child is the same. And they can sense it without talking about it as to whether or not you're going to be a nice guy or a guy or a girl. And so if the dog can sense it, the child can sense it, and the mommy sees it, if you've got that demeanor, it's a major, major factor. And that's why you don't have so many people that specialize in pediatrics. Because you've got to have the passion and the heart for helping that child. And that could be Down syndrome. It could be autism. I think autism is another major factor that where people fall through the cracks. That those children need to be understood. Maybe we don't understand them because they're geniuses. Right? Maybe they don't understand our verbiage, how we communicate, simple, basic colors and stuff like that, or numbers, but they're geniuses. Some of them are really so intelligent. We just have to kind of try to understand what they're trying to communicate, and that's what allows me to be able to work with these autistic and these Down syndrome children as well.
Yeah.
And it's a big factor.
Oh God, yes.
And how long does it usually take, say, an individual? And I know everybody learns based on their own method of learning. You know, it's like it can be that it's too long. It can be that they don't want to do it. They struggle with it, so forth. What is an average time frame for, say, someone to learn to use a
You know, that
prosthetic?
can vary. We do have work schedules if the person is known as being a non-compliant individual. You know, some people are there. There are some peer groups, you know, or peer visitors that we have that can communicate with them that are an existing amputee, because they can, and the patient can always come back and say, well, how do you know how I feel? You're not an amputee. Well, I've got patients that are amputees that were in that dark spot, that didn't know what to do, that were lost, that were seeking help.
So you connect and you connect.
Correct.
Oh, wow, Steve.
Correct.
Wow.
So
Wow.
that they can explain to them, this is something, this is what you have to do, and they can help facilitate that
Sure,
communication
sure, sure.
to help understand the processes.
Okay. Thank you, Steve. This has been great.
This has been wonderful.
Great.
This has been really amazing. As a matter of fact, there was a little point in as you were speaking that I wanted to grab you and get chulo mijo. You know, that is wonderful. I just love what you're doing. I love your way of communicating. I love your vocabulary. It's just beautiful because that's your profession. So I really, you've impressed the hell out of me.
Thank you so much. It's a, you know, I'll tell you what, it's a pleasure knowing full well that I came from the west side,
Yes,
went to Escobar, to Emma Fry,
that's right.
home of the former state senator, Bernal.
That's right. Yes, of course.
You know, from Emma Fry to Edgewood, who's now been shut down, but I mean, it's still.
And you do know that Bernal ended up going back to Emma Fry and being a principal there for a year. He wanted to try that. He wanted to do that.
Well, yeah, that's
he
what I
wanted to
was-
go back. Yeah.
So I got an opportunity to meet with Dr. Bernal
Yeah.
at a function, and I embarrassed him actually because I told him, I said, I need to speak to you. I wanted to introduce myself to him, and I told him, you know, I don't want to give away your age here, but you were my principal when I was in elementary school.
I know.
So that was a pleasure to be able to kind of reconnect. And once we started chit-chatting, we were like two peas in a pod, you know, just joking and just talking about the west side of town.
I remember when I got to sit as a teacher already. I got to sit with Coach Escobedo from Edgewood High School,
Yeah.
and I remember telling him, I used to stare at you. I just thought you were amazing because here he was to a 15, 16-year-old kid. He was old. But here he ran around in circles with all the guys, and he'd take the ball from him, and he'd shoot up, I'm so glad that I got to talk to him. I'm glad that I got to tell him how much I admired him.
Sure.
So that's neat. That's
great.
neat. You see.
Yeah.
Well, Yvonne, thank you so much for having us here again. And once again, I thank Wetsy, right here on 41st Street, Old Highway 90. Please come by and see the building. And thank you so much, Mr. Seaman.
Thank you so much as well for having me. You know, it makes me so happy and so proud to know that there is an actual college here,
Yes.
Wetsy, in this side of town, in a much needed area. That I mean, there's people out here that are just looking for this education. So it makes me very happy to know that this facility is here now.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yvonne,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you so much.